Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and staying home to keep yourself safe from COVID-19. Students, in the previous module we discussed about the division of power in this chapter, union, government and the legislature. Here in this module we are going to discuss about the union legislature, mainly about the Lok Sabha. So let us begin, students. The union legislature. The long struggle for freedom transferred into mass movement and they ultimately succeeded in ushering freedom and self-rule. It was a dream come true for the people of India who aspired for a democratic self-government. So the Constitution of India laid down the principles of universal adult franchise, according to which all citizens who are 18 years or more than 18 years of age have the right to vote. This right gives the people an opportunity to actively participate in the political process of the country, and through this people play their role in the political process. They elect their representative who constitute the parliament and the controls and guide the union government. People express their trust in the functioning of our democratic setup. The parliament is the legislative organ of the government. It consists of the President of India and two houses. The House of the People is known as Lok Sabha and is also called the lower house. Its members are directly elected by the people. The second house is the Council of States, known as Rajya Sabha or the upper house. So here Lok Sabha is known as lower house and Rajya Sabha is known as upper house. So its members are indirectly elected. Rajya Sabha members are indirectly elected. The President of India is not a member of any of the two houses, but she or he is an integral part of the parliament, because no bill can become a law without her or his approval. So to ensure the principle of the federalism, the Lok Sabha represents the people of India and Rajya Sabha represent the states of India. Means the Lok Sabha is representing the people of the country and Rajya Sabha is representing the different states of the country. Now Lok Sabha, the house of the people. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha shall not exceed, that is 550. So this 550 is mainly about because of the size of the Lok Sabha, means the different number of seats available in this Lok Sabha is up to the maximum 550. More than that seats are not available here. So this way there is a very difficult, and it was limited that in the beginning only that maximum number was set up 550. Out of this 530 members are directly elected by the people from different states, whereas the remaining 20 are elected from the union territories. Elections are based on secret ballot, or the candidate getting the highest number of votes in a constituency is declared elected. So secret ballot means the people who are giving votes, they need not to tell about their voting to any of the people in the society or in the government. So in case the Anglo-Indian community is not represented adequately in Lok Sabha, the President of India has the power to nominate two members from this community. Some seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes also, because the person belonging to these categories only can contest the elections from these reserved constituency. So these reservation has been given to the people, these special communities, that scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because of their backwardness. But the electorate is joint, which means all the eligible voters in that constituency have the right to vote without any kind of discrimination. Means the candidates will be from the reserved category, but the voting will be done without any kind of discrimination by all the people in the constituency. The purpose behind such reservation is to assist and uplift the weaker section of the society and bring them into national mainstream. Do you know, students, facts about the distribution of seats in 16th Lok Sabha? The largest number of constituencies are that are in Uttar Pradesh, that are 80 constituencies. Lower number of constituencies are in Sikkim 1, Mizoram 1, Nagaland 1, Arunachal Pradesh 1, Manipur 2 and Tripura 2. These are very small state population wise and almost area wise also. The new states of Telangana has 17 constituency. National Capital Territory of Delhi has 7 constituency. Other union territories have 6 constituency. The reservation of seats for women is also a burning topic these days. And since half of the population of this country, that is women, have only a negligible representation in the legislature at both the levels, the demand is gaining more momentum that women reservation bill should be passed in the parliament. This information was taken from a little old publication. So the bill has been passed and 33% has been given to the women. 33% seat has been given to the women in the parliament. So Mahatma Gandhi once said, as long as women of India do not take part in the public life, there can be no salvation of the country. Salvation is related to the getting moksha. You can say that mukti, or you can say solution of all the problems in the society. So that is not possible unless and until women take part in the public life. Now, qualification. In order to become a member of Lok Sabha, the candidate must have the following qualification. He or she must be citizen of India. She or he must have completed the 25 years of age. Her or his name must be in voter list. She or he must possess such other qualification as may be prescribed under the law made by the parliament. With the passage of time, parliament can change the qualification of the members, but till now there has been no change, and that way there is no educational qualification compulsory for the members being a member of parliament. She or he should not be a government servant. So these are some qualifications that a candidate should have to be member of Lok Sabha. If two candidates poll the same number of votes, example 70,000 each, then the winner is declared by lottery method. The tenure. The normal term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. However, the President of India can dissolve it earlier also, but only on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. The term of Lok Sabha can be extended for a period of 1 year or at a time if such a bill is passed by the Parliament to meet some emergency situation. For the orderly and smooth functioning of or working of Lok Sabha, the Speaker and Deputy Speakers are elected by the members of members from amongst themselves. Means speaker and deputy speakers are elected from the members themselves, or means from the member of parliament only. There is a tradition that the speaker is elected from the majority party and the deputy speaker is elected from the opposition party. So here three pictures you are seeing. This picture is of the first Lok Sabha speaker, Mr. Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar, and here first woman Lok Sabha speaker, Miss Meera Kumar, and present Lok Sabha speaker, Mr. Om Birla. The speaker presides over the meetings of Lok Sabha. In his or her absence, the House is chaired by the Deputy Speaker. The Speaker maintains the discipline and decorum of the House. If the situation demands, the Speaker can adjourn the House. All the petitions and documents addressed to the House are received by the Speaker. It is the Lok Sabha Speaker who presides over the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament. So this was all about for today's discussion, students. We'll meet in the next module with next topic, that is Rajya Sabha. So till then, bye all of you. Thank you. Have a nice day.